Alright, so we're back with Verdun weapon reviews, and today we're going to do the cheap and crude Ruby. Well, the Ruby is a pistol that's, how can I say, it's cheap, crude, and stolen. It's just it's a stolen from the M1903 Browning Pocket Hammerless. It's a cheaper it's actually a simplified version of an already very simple gun. Pocket Hammerless was just a simple blowback, small pocket pistol. They kind of changed it a bit and basically stole the design. What I mean by stole is it was made in Spain, right? Spain is kind of like the China of Europe. What I mean by that is basically patents only applied to Spain if you had your company in Spain, I think, if something like that. Because this is why neither Colt nor FN was able to sue, because Colt left everything to FN to deal with Europe, and FN didn't have their company in Spain, so they could not sue for patent infringement. I think they tried, but yeah, it's like, Spain, that pistol's not going to go anywhere. And then World War One rolls around, and France is like, we need guns. Who has guns? Spain has guns. So, yeah, they contracted for a bunch of these rubies, and there's just tons of them, tons and tons of them. There were so many that the contractor, had subcontractors, and eventually there got to be so many that, and these weren't, like, professional companies, these were small workshops, sometimes, and so, you ran into where you'd have two rubies, and none of the parts fit. You couldn't even change magazine. So you had, the same pistol, all these pistols going to France for war, and no interchangeability between the different companies. I don't know how that happens when, everyone's given a design. It's like, alright, everyone's gotta make, a 10 by 10 block. Alright? And somehow you get a 13 by 13, a 11 by 12, I don't know. I don't know how that happens, but yeah. Ruby's just a simple blowback pistol. What blowback means is you shoot the round, it forces the slide back. There's no locking system, it's just the weight of the slide is the thing that's keeping it together, basically. So yeah, in-game, how is it? Well, it's honestly, despite being a cheap, crude pistol in real life, it's probably the best pistol in the game. What? And you're thinking, what? Why would it be the best pistol in the game and be the cheapest and crappiest one? Well, because it's the fastest firing, has the most ammo, well, basically the most ammo, kills in 3 shots, and and it has a fast reload. I think the Mauser broom handle has more ammo, but yeah. But it's like, it's probably the best pistol in the game because the fire rate's good and the reload speed. Now it's like, now I only have attrition game mode because on this particular day, I was playing against, Zab was on, and I was trying to get pistol gameplay, and trying to use the Ruby on front lines while you have an excellent player like Zab on isn't very good to get footage of. Also, I couldn't get into a French squad. Every time I joined, it was either everyone's just playing Americans or German, or every time I try to get on the entity side. So yeah, but let's go back to it. It's a very clean looking pistol in game. It's got pretty smooth animations. It's very fast firing, even though I do have a problem. We're gonna go over that. Reload 9 shots, and you got a 3-shot kill. So that's 3 kills, which is I think the most you can get with any semi-automatic. Because I think even the Mauser broom handle takes 4 shots to kill. So and it's slower firing than the Ruby. So the Ruby, especially in the early days of Verdun, if anybody remembers the early days of Verdun, the Ruby was arguably the best weapon in the game. Because if you compared it to the Luger was slower firing and has slower reload, and the iron sights weren't as good. The Ruby honestly has perfectly fine iron sights. They're a little bit weird looking, but they are very usable. And it used to fire faster. They changed the fire rate on it, which I don't really agree with. I don't really like when games have fire rates on semi-automatics. But yeah, you can like the Ruby is probably a better submachine gun than the MP18 because it fires faster. Like it's such a good little pistol in the game, and in real life too. In real life, it might have been cheap and crappy, but god dang did it work. And why did it work? Because it was just a Browning design. It was a stolen Browning design. Even stolen crappy copies are still great. So what you think about that? I mean, it's not the same as the 1911 because 1911 uses a tilting barrel, whereas the Ruby, as I said, is just a blowback. So yeah, it's a great little pistol, very fast firing. But one of the problem I have with Verdun, a couple problems I have with Verdun and fast firing weapons or weapons that are supposed to be fast firing is the time it takes for your guy to stop running and pull the trigger is too long. There's a slight, I guess, input lag, I guess you'd call it. I don't know, but there's a problem in there where you'll stop running and you'll press the button to shoot, but your guy won't do it for some reason until like a second later. If you're not running, you can it's an instant thing or an almost instant thing. Another problem I have with the Ruby, or used to have with the Ruby, not every shot would register. This used to happen with almost every pistol in the game, and it still happens with a lot of the weapons. Is sometimes your round won't register, which I'm not sure if it's the game engine or the ping ratio, because I've always had good ping in this game. I've always been around 20 to 30, which is great ping. But yeah, it's like that's why rapid fire weapons used to be great. But in the early days of Verdun, like I remember you could unload, especially with the Webley. The Webley used to be a 2-shot kill, and sometimes it wouldn't register. Same as the Ruby. The Ruby you could fire like 3 shots into a guy, and then the 4th would register. So that's why I always have a habit in games is shoot till you see the guy's dead. Don't count your shots. That's another thing. Never count your shots in a game. Like, just shoot until you see the guy's dead. So yeah, I'm also sorry that I couldn't get any Frontlines gameplay. I know that's probably a better representation of where you're going to be using the Ruby. But the other problem I have with Verdun and semi-automatics, fast-firing guns is there's a fire rate. What I mean by that is they limit how fast you can fire a semi-automatic pistol. Even though the Ruby's quite fast firing, it's slow for me. Like you'll see, if you're watching the footage in the background, it's like, what? How is that slow? It seems to be firing pretty fast. No, I have a very, 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 very fast trigger finger for video games, and like I'm probably clicking that a mouse button. Like comparison for me clicking the mouse button to what you're seeing on screen, it's probably at least maybe 6 times slower than what I'm actually clicking. And you're like, what? You can't be that fast or something. But remember, I can get mod locked on Call of Duty World at War firing semi-automatics. If you don't know what mod lock is on World at War, it's basically whenever World at War was really the time of modded controllers, and what mod lock would do is if you used your mod too much, it would basically like stop your modded controller from working, and it would cause your gun, all of your semi-automatics to go doosh, 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 like real slow. So I can get mod lock firing just with my trigger finger. And if you don't believe me, hopefully I'll remember this, but I'm going to insert a little clip of me from Modern Warfare 3 with double 44 revolvers getting a triple kill. that's gonna be that's my trigger finger. Yeah, it's like so. I hate fire rates in games, and the Ruby has one. Almost every semi-automatic has one in this game, and I agree a little bit on the rifles, sort of like the RSC, but on pistols, it should be as fast as you can pull the trigger, even or click the mouse button. In this case, I one of the reasons I prefer controllers is because I like a trigger pull because I fire guns. I fire guns in real life, so having a trigger pull is just a lot better for me. For me, at least. Anything else to say about the Ruby? They did nerf its fire rate a while ago, and with the that newest update or the Horrors of War update, um, it's not that much nerfed, but eh, it's still nerfed. It's still Ruby used to be amazing. It's great now, but it used to be amazing, borderline OP. Start of the game, whenever all of your shots would hit, when there was no bullet drop, there was no sway in your hand, there was no weapon sway. Oh, the Ruby was godlike. If you were good with the Ruby, you could clear an entire trench with it. It's got 9 shots. That's basically the most in the game. Besides the artillery Luger, all right, the artillery Luger doesn't count as a pistol. That's basically a pistol caliber carbine, because I'm going with U.S. law that says any pistol that has a stock is a rifle. Is a short-barreled rifle. It's a short-barreled rifle. If it is a longer than 16-inch barrel, then it is considered a regular rifle. Since the artillery Luger, is less than 16-inch barrel, it is a SBR, and also because it has a stock. Anything else I'm gonna talk about with the Ruby? Well, not really. It's semi-automatic, simple blowback pistol, 32 ACP, simple, and works. That's it. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the footage. It's just 2 matches of attrition. So yeah, bye.